Okay, so the last thing I want to discuss connected to all this, I have talked about this in the past, but it's been a while. And if you haven't seen like my early videos, I don't know that, or listened to my early podcast interviews, you might not have heard me talk about this. And it's connected to this, so I want to bring it up again. There's another thing that bothers me with a lot of twin flame coaches, because from what I have seen, this particular topic tends to come from twin flame coaches who don't do readings, or they might do some readings, but they primarily focus on coaching, and they think that they are shouldn't say it like that. What they are doing is they are helping divine feminines make the changes in their lives to manifest union. And they really do use the terminology of manifesting union. And basically, what they are teaching is that you do the healing work on yourself, and you raise your vibration, and you will manifest union. You will bring your twin flame to you by doing those things. That is something that from the beginning of me learning about the twin flame journey, before I was even doing readings myself, I was always bothered by that. And I've over time been able to understand what bothers me about it. Hold on. So one of the reasons why it bothers me is because it makes it sound like the divine feminine can do all the work and the divine masculine doesn't have to do anything. It also makes it sound like miraculous, like if you just raise your vibration and you just do this, that, and that, and the other, your twin flame will come running to you. And I've actually heard some of them say, your twin flame will come running. This is not true. And there are aspects to what they're teaching that are true and are relevant, but the way they're putting it is not accurate. And it is not true that all you have to do is raise your vibration and your twin flame will come running. That's not how it works. And I literally just did a spiritual health checkup pendulum spirit chat reading for a client. If you guys aren't aware, I have those in my shop. I will literally have a conversation with spirit for you. And spirit spells out to me exact messages, and I put quotation marks around it because it is not me. It is 100%, and it's not even me channeling. It's 100% spirit spelling out the messages. I mean, it is channeling, but it's different because it's word for word. And I can ask questions, or I can just get feedback and messages. So this is what I was told for this client, and it's actually very, very close to explaining why that teaching is wrong. And I will explain it a little bit better after I read it. So what Spirit said to her was, as you heal, he heals. As he grows, you grow. You walk together side by side in the etheric realm. So love yourself, forgive yourself, heal yourself, believe in yourself, and so too will he. He is making the most progress when you can't see anything happening on the outside. So don't get frustrated or start doubting. That's when you need to believe in him the most. And when you are purging and feeling stagnant, that is when you need to have the most love and compassion for yourself. This process of healing is not a straightforward process. It's a continuous spiral of forward and backward steps until we learn everything we need to learn and heal everything we need to heal. And the significance of that is that it happens hand in hand together. It is not the divine feminine doing all of the work, and the divine masculine doesn't have to do anything and then just miraculously shows up one day when the divine feminine can stay in high vibration. I actually had a realization about this as well with myself. Well, just like I said, I experience what Spirit needs me to teach. And what has happened is that in the past 6 months, I have been able to surrender more, and to the extent of being able to let go of even needing to know what's going on. And I've gotten to a point where I no longer will have moments of feeling like, will it ever happen? Or some type of doubting thought. And what I realized, the epiphany that I had, was that I believe that this shift and change in me has correlated with shifts and changes in him. And I believe, like, I can't say for 100% certainty because I'm not talking to him and I'm not asking him, are you having these thoughts as well? Even though we're in communication, I don't bring up stuff like that. I'm not like, hey, are you, thinking about this or doing this or whatever. But I believe that he is also as he's getting through his healing process, he is having less fear. He is having less doubt. He is having less concern of, will I be able to do this? Will I be able to do that or whatever? Because the causes that are still keeping us apart, or that have still kept us apart, have been him sorting out and dealing with 3D situations with his ex, the ex karmic partner, because of the kids. So the way that she is, I don't want to get into all this, but the way that she is, and because he's the real parent, and because he's not willing to leave the kids behind, it's a complex issue. So I believe that he did have for a long time fears and doubts and worries about, will I be able to do this? Will I be able to get away with the kids? Will I be able to whatever? And I think that that's part of the reason why I was having those thoughts, and why I was having that will this ever happen type of thought process at times when I would purge. Do not do that often. I have not done that often in a long time, but I would still have it come up until really the last 6 months or so. And I have gotten to the point now where I don't even need to know everything going on. And anybody who knows me knows that that's shocking because my OCD, and because of the spiritual warfare I went through concerning her, I was constantly keeping track of everything all the time. And I always had to know what was going on. Even when I was in a good surrendered state, I just wanted to keep up with how he's feeling, what's going on in their world, all those types of things. So the fact that I have reached that level of surrender is really awesome and amazing. And like I said, I realized that me getting to this state is correlated with his own healing and his own growth as well. And that was part of what helped me recognize it's not that I did all of this work and have pulled him along. We healed together. We walked together and we healed together. The divine feminines tend to think that they're ready, that they don't have any more work to do, and that they're ready. And what I have learned and seen is that that's not true, that there's still work that the divine feminines have to do on themselves. There's still healing they have to get through, or there's still something that they need to release some type of control or 3D issue over, and they aren't recognizing it because they have gotten through a lot of their healing process. So it's not at a conscious level, it's a deep buried layer. Sometimes it's not even about this lifetime. Sometimes it's about past lives and stuff that needs to be healed from past lives, and then we are even less likely to be consciously aware of it. When those are the cases where it's not something we're not consciously aware of, Spirit will guide us through, Spirit will bring us through what we need to experience to heal those layers or to heal those past lives. We don't need to worry about, am I going to miss something? Spirit will bring you through it. And you can ask Spirit to show you what you need to do or whatever, but Spirit will bring you through it. And that's exactly what happens to the divine masculines the whole entire journey, usually. I mean, there are some divine masculines who are more awake, but most of them are not. So most of them, like the divine feminines, are actively choosing to do the work. They're actively choosing to work on their healing. The masculines are not. They're running from the connection. And then even when they're not running anymore, they're still dealing with their 3D reality. The divine masculines operate from the lower chakras. The divine feminines operate from the higher chakras. A lot of divine masculines don't even necessarily, want to go to therapy or stuff like that, let alone spiritual healing stuff. I mean, it's not all, but a lot of them are like that because they're just more masculine and more in the 3D world. And it's also like what we're taught growing up as well, the stigmas around mental health and therapy, and especially it depends a lot on each individual person. I mean, in Latin America, those men are less likely to go down those paths. So yeah, Spirit brings the masculines through whatever they need to go through on their side of the process. So the difference here is not that the divine feminine does all the work and the divine masculine doesn't do any of the work. The difference is that the divine feminine is consciously doing the work. The divine masculine is unconsciously doing the work. This is also why the divine masculine is more likely to go through a dark night of the soul, because since the divine masculine is not consciously choosing to do the work, spirit is putting them through the experiences that they need to go through that force them to go through the work. And that's why they go through a dark night of the soul. That's why they deal with depression or mental health struggles or addictions or karmic relationships. All that stuff, all that hard stuff that they go through, that is how spirit is forcing them to have these realizations and to do this deep healing without them consciously realizing that that's what's happening. So both sides are doing the work. It just happens in different ways. And both, well, not in the 3D, obviously. In the 5D, their higher selves are together, walking through this process together, both going through the growth and the healing together. And as each one heals, it helps the other. And the divine feminine is the leader still. Divine feminine's gonna like raise their vibration before the masculine, and that's gonna help the masculine do the same. And it's just gonna be that continual process. But just like Spirit said, it's a continuous spiral as well. Just like divine feminines, I know there are a lot of you who are far down your journey who you'll have a purge and you'll feel like it's out of nowhere, like I thought that I healed that, whatever. It's because it's that spiral. It's those deep layers of healing that need to happen, but you are not consciously aware of it because you have healed a lot of it. You've healed everything at the conscious level. So now spirit is putting you through whatever needs to happen to dig deep and pull out those deeper buried layers of wounds and past life stuff and whatever it is that needs to be healed or needs to be purged or whatever. So both of you, you're walking hand in hand in the etheric realm. You're going through these experiences together. You're raising your vibration together at the same time. As you do it, it helps the masculine. Now, what I can tell you for sure that is definitely true to what those coaches are teaching is that divine feminine, if you don't choose to do the work, if you try to, abandon the journey, you don't work on your healing, you try to give up, all that stuff, like your twin's not going to. Like the divine feminines are the leader. Even though you walk hand in hand and you help each other along the way, if the divine feminine's not doing it, the masculine's not going anywhere. Like he's gonna stay stuck down here. So just like with the law of attraction, divine feminines, you gotta have that positive thinking, positive intentions, positive actions, and that is what will help the process, and that is what will lead the process. But you are not doing all of the work on your own, and you are not going to single-handedly pull your masculine to you and like make them come running to you overnight. They still have to go through what they have to go through. They still have to go through that healing work. They still have to overcome certain things. That's another thing that I learned in the past 2 years that I've been in the reunion stage with my divine masculine. What I have seen is that I can do a ton of healing stuff for him, for us and for him, but I can only go so far. I can do as much as I can do for me, for us, for him, but he has to carry it the rest of the way. Because if he doesn't finish the process himself, then it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of like enabling him. And he's not in his sovereign power if he is not choosing to finish the process himself. The work that I did helped him raise his vibration, helped him, receive enlightenment and awakenings and to be able to get on the right path and be able to make the right decisions. But he still had to step into his power to finish the process, to finish making the most important decisions and overcoming the biggest obstacles. And like I said, I could not do that for him. As much as we might want to, we can't do that for them. They have to take those final steps. If they don't take those final steps, they aren't fully healed. And we're trying to control it for them, and we can't control it for them. We can help a lot, but they have to finish those steps themselves. And if we took that away from them, then we would just, in a way, almost not be any better than the karmic partners. But we have to empower them, not enable them. Okay? So yeah, they have to finish those final steps. And I have seen that it is oftentimes correlated with significant things that happen in your history in this lifetime and in past lifetimes with you and your twin and with the karmic partner as well. Like for example, for us, we have overcome certain things, and my twin has overcome certain things in the same month as certain things happened in the past, where, you know, that power and sovereignty was taken from us or from him by the karmic partner. He overcame it in the same months now, or in more recent times. So that's another factor to that. So anyway, like, that was the main thing that I wanted to say to that, is that for me, I honestly am repelled by coaches like that say, you just have to raise your vibration, you just have to, you know, do this, and this, and your twin flame will come running, and you will manifest union. You cannot manifest union. You cannot do spells to force union, and you cannot just make your twin flame come magically running. You can take the steps to help yourself get through the journey, and that will help your twin, but you both have to do the work. You both have to get through the process together, and your twin, just as much as you, has to accomplish certain things in their healing process and their transformation process, and that is when then they will be able to come running. Yes, the divine feminine is a huge initiate and catalyst for the divine masculine to even want to do that work and to want to be better and to want to change, but they still have to do that work themselves. It doesn't happen magically on their own. I just remembered something else I wanted to say earlier, and I totally forgot. You know what, I might do one separate video just to add it in, because I had forgotten about it earlier on. That's what I'll do. So just to wrap this segment up, yeah, I actually want to reread that message from Spirit, since it was in a previous segment or a previous video. So one more time, the message from Spirit about how we get through this process is: as you heal, he heals. As he grows, you grow. You walk together side by side in the etheric realm. So love yourself, forgive yourself, heal yourself, believe in yourself, and so too will he. He is making the most progress when you can't see anything happening on the outside. So don't get frustrated or start doubting. That's when you need to believe in him the most. And when you are purging and feeling stagnant, that is when you need to have the most compassion and love for yourself. This process of healing is not a straightforward process. It is a continuous spiral of forward and backward steps until we learn everything we need to learn and heal everything we need to heal. Remember that, write it down, save this, whatever, and let that, you know, inspire you and help you and guide you through your process, and in understanding that you have to do the work, but you're not going to magically manifest or force union to happen in your power and control. It'll happen in divine timing. It'll happen when you're both ready, and it'll happen when you're both healed, and you will walk that path together etherically, even if it looks different in the physical world. Okay? One more quick thing to add on to that. I should have said it. I did think about it, but when it comes to manifesting union, I actually got into an argument with one of those people once, because I already knew about my spiritual warfare, and she tried to tell me that you could just rise above it. That is not true. Spiritual warfare is the only thing that can block union, and it does have to be taken care of properly. You cannot just rise above it. You know, it's complicated to explain how spiritual warfare works, and why that is the case, and what needs to be done, and that also depends on what the problem is. But that is another important point regarding what those people teach, is that they teach and they believe that that you manifest spiritual warfare, which that is not true in a sense of the major issues that people deal with. Like, you can manifest spiritual warfare, but the spiritual warfare that twin flames are dealing with is either because of past life stuff that is still recurring and needs to be fixed, or because they're being attacked by dark forces to stop their union because twin flames are creating ascension, or it's the karmic partners being used by the dark forces to interfere with the union. And when the karmic partners are doing that and they are controlling the divine masculines and taking away their free will, it can go on like that indefinitely if you don't do something about it. So when you would manifest spiritual warfare, that could happen if you are inexperienced or unprotected. Inexperienced in like shielding yourself, and unprotected, like not having done anything to work with anybody to protect yourself in some capacity. You can accidentally bring dark spirits to yourself with the content that you're watching on TV and movies. And even if it's like going places or stuff like that, honestly, even if you aren't properly protecting your home, like I've had spirits come to me at my home, and my home is very well protected now, and they can't do that so easily anymore. So there are ways that you can inadvertently manifest spiritual warfare, but what twin flames are dealing with when it comes to spiritual warfare is far beyond what the average person is dealing with. And there is a reason for it, that it's part of your soul contracts. Even some of it is part of your soul contracts. And I will explain this all much more in depth with my spiritual warfare talks, but suffice it to say that because of that, you cannot just rise above it. Like, the divine feminines are tasked with defeating spiritual warfare. They are tasked for it for two reasons. One is clearing out whatever happened in the past lives. Some of that is karma from what you did yourself, and some of it is just recurring energy that, not reoccurring, but energy that is still in existence from the past lives. It was created with the spiritual warfare and is still in existence, so it's still affecting you, whether it was created by the karmic or by you. And then the other reason why the feminines are tasked with defeating it is because it is your training. It is your training for what's to come over the ascension path. I don't know exactly what that is, other than I can tell you that we are in ascension times. We are in Armageddon times. There's going to be 3 different Armageddons, all the process of defeating evil that has been controlling the world and taking back Earth. Twin flames, and this is something I will be talking about this week with the history of twin flames. Twin flames are the souls that chose. Well, twin flames were originally attacked in the fall of Atlantis, and for that reason, as well as for the power that they have, having already gone through the ascension process and having spent lifetimes in other worlds and other places as well as here, of mastering spiritual skills and abilities, twin flame souls chose and were chosen to be the warriors that would reclaim Earth from the dark and would bring Earth back to its glory and back into higher dimensions. So this is your training, because when we're incarnated, we can't remember all of that. We can't remember our soul history and everything that happened in the past lives. And I know we all say, like, why did my soul choose this? Like, there are many, many reasons why your soul chose this, and it's because of your experiences in Atlantis and in these other past lives. And also as starseeds and as just twin flames in general. Like, twin flames have deep, deep histories of the soul development, of mastering these skills and abilities, being priestesses and all sorts of other higher level roles in other lifetimes. And all of it was in preparation for this time now of defeating the dark and taking back Earth and assisting and creating the ascension process. So that is the other reason for the spiritual warfare. It is your training. It is your training for when things get even more in the depths of Armageddon. which I know doesn't sound like fun, but you'll be trained, you'll be ready, like I am now. And I'm actually, I wouldn't say that I'm completely trained and ready, but I'm not afraid. Let's say that. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's kick some demon ass. But anyway, what was I just going to say? There was something and then I made a joke and I forgot. Switch your training. I don't think it was that important. Don't stress about what the future holds as far as what you're being trained for. Just trust that Spirit's got everything under control. Spirit is guiding you right, and Spirit is preparing you. And the other thing that I was going to say was that spiritual warfare is also a test. I mean, it's happening for a reason, but it's also a test of if you're ready for a union or if you will give up and run away yourself. So anyway, the primary point here is that when it comes to the coaches who are teaching that you can just rise above spiritual warfare and that you can just you manifest union and bring your twin to you energetically, that is not the case if there's spiritual warfare. That might be the case to a certain extent, just like I previously talked about. You might be able to more effectively help that process if there's no spiritual warfare. But 50% of twin flames have spiritual warfare, and spiritual warfare will block your progress on your twin flame journey and will block union indefinitely until it's taken care of and fixed. So that is another reason why that information and those teachings are not correct. So that's the completion of my I don't know, warnings or whatever from Spirit of just what you need to look out for when you are looking at twin flame readers and twin flame coaches and twin flame channels and what they are talking about, what they're teaching, when it comes to their accuracy and credibility, and whether or not they are giving out good information or bad information, and how much they'll actually be able to help you. Okay, so I hope that this all helped you guys, and I'll be back soon with a lot more to discuss.